That's perfect, Gohan.
After Gohan's battle against the Gammas and Cell Max, Gohan ended up awakening a power that went beyond his limits, showing that even without training for years, Gohan was still a prodigy who managed to overcome himself when he released the fury that was controlled within a few. But Gohan still felt like a weakling, not because he was a weak warrior, but because of the fact that Gohan needed to see who he loved suffer, so that he could evolve, and that was becoming a damn cycle. Gohan knew he had great potential and that thanks to that he was able to overcome his opponents and thus save everyone. But that only happened after Gohan saw who he loved suffering, and the Half Saiyan was already tired of that. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, it was possible to see the hybrid Son Gohan in his house. Gohan was on the roof of his house looking at the sky while thinking about his life and how it was until that moment. Gohan thought, "It's been about 1 month since the day Pan was captured and I was forced to fight against the Gammas, and with a new version of Cell Max, my powers increased when I managed to use the new transformation that Mr. Piccolo named Bestial Gohan during the combat." The Saiyan thought as he looked at his hands and remembered the sensation he felt when he awakened that power. Gohan thought, "That power is too great, but I had to see my daughter being kidnapped and see Mr. Piccolo injured so that I could get that power. If I had continued to train since the time I faced Cell, Mr. Piccolo wouldn't have been hurt like that." The Saiyan thought, clenching his fist tightly as he remembered all the times he had to see who he loves get hurt, because he did not possess the necessary strength to defeat his enemy. Gohan thought, "I'm tired of only getting stronger when my friends or people I love get hurt. It's time for me to go back to training and see where my potential can take me. I'm going to ask my father to train me so that I can one day surpass him," thought the Saiyan, more determined than ever to get stronger and protect who he loves with his strength. Gohan, after making his decision, started flying towards his parents' house to talk to his father, Son Goku, and ask him to train him. It didn't take long for the Saiyan to arrive at his parents' house, and upon arriving there, Gohan greeted his mother and then went to his father, who was training in the garden, along with Goten, who was accompanying him in training. When both Saiyans became aware of Gohan's presence, Goku and Goten snapped to look at him. Goku said, "Gohan, what are you doing here, son? Have you brought Pan to visit her grandparents and her uncle?" said the Saiyan while looking at his eldest son. Gohan said, "Not this time, father. This time I came to ask you for something," said the Saiyan with a more serious tone, while looking at his father. This left Goku and Goten surprised. Goku said, "Ask me something." "Son, you know me, and you know I'm not very smart, so the only thing I could help you with would be something related to martial arts or something like that," said the Saiyan while scratching his head. After all, Gohan wasn't the type who asked for things for others, especially from his father. Gohan said, "That's exactly what I want to talk about, Dad. I want you to train me," said the eldest son of Goku, surprising everyone in the place, especially Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi said, "Wait, what? Gohan, are you asking your father to train you? Why are you asking this?" asked the woman, confused by all of that. Gohan said, "Mom, since the last events, I keep thinking that I might be getting too weak. And with each passing day, new enemies appear, and every time I have to face a strong opponent, I lose, and I'm forced to see who I like being hurt. And only after that happens that I manage to awaken a new power or special ability which allows me to defeat the enemy," said the Saiyan, looking at his mother and then looking at his father. Chi-Chi said, "But every time you manage to beat them, right?" asked the woman to her eldest son. Gohan said, "Yes, Mom, but before defeating them, I always see the ones I love being hurt. And because of that, I want to get stronger, so that no one I love is hurt or killed," said the Saiyan in a firm and determined tone of voice, something that made Goku give a big smile. Goku said, "Good to know that, Gohan. If you really want me to train you, I will, but I need to see your current power limit. So let's get out of here so we can have a friendly match between the two of us. And Gohan, don't go easy on me, because I don't. I'll take it easy on you," said the oldest Saiyan with a challenging smile for his son. Gohan said, "That's right, father," said the Saiyan while looking at his father, who just gave a short laugh. Goku said, "Gohan, follow me, and you, Goten, help your mother with her homework, and then do that training we did yesterday during the afternoon," said the oldest Saiyan before flying away, being accompanied by his eldest son. In a place far from civilization. In a place that was several kilometers away from civilization, it was possible to see Goku and Gohan facing each other. That place would be where Goku and Gohan would train and face each other to see what Gohan's current power limit is. Goku said, "Gohan, just like I told you back home, you shouldn't hold back. You have that new transformation that Piccolo called Bestial, Gohan, which you used to face Cell Max. Piccolo had told me that transformation could match my power when I was using the power of Ultra Instinct, and since we are here, I want to see if this is true. So show me that power of yours, Gohan, said the Saiyan while starting to raise his energies. Gohan said, since that day I haven't used this power anymore, but if you want to see it, then I'll show you, said the Saiyan starting to raise his power. Suddenly Gohan gave a scream, and then a huge amount of energy came out of his body. The energy that came out was so great that a pillar of energy ended up rising to the sky, and after a few seconds, Goku was able to see Gohan in his new transformation. Gohan in his bestial form had white hair similar to the one he had when he was in his Super Saiyan 2 form, only bigger. Gohan's eyes were red and there were several rays around his body. Goku said, Piccolo was right. That power you're releasing is very great. Now it's my turn, said the Saiyan, activating the power of Ultra Instinct, making a pillar of energy rise to the heavens, like that of his son. Then it was possible to see Goku with white hair and silver eyes. Goku said, Gohan, come and show me your new power level, said the Saiyan while looking at his son, who just smiled at him. Both Saiyans were transformed into their strongest forms. Then Goku and Gohan disappeared in a sonic boom and appeared in front of each other, exchanging a punch that generated a large impact wave, which ended up raising a huge amount of dust. After the first punch exchanged between the Saiyans, both moved away and again advanced towards each other, initiating an exchange of blows that made the place where they were be destroyed with each blow exchanged by the Saiyans. The exchange of blows between the two Saiyans was becoming more and more intense until Gohan, using his speed, managed to create a gap and hit a punch in the abdomen of Goku, who, at the same time as he received the blow, created a sphere of ki in his hand and fired at Gohan's face, who with that backed away from Goku. Goku recovered quickly and advanced against his son, and as he approached, Gohan tried to land a kick on Goku, but Goku managed to dodge the blow and landed a kick on Gohan's face, who upon feeling the blow jumped back, if moving away from his father. Gohan, walking away from his father, began shooting several spheres of ki at Goku, which thanks to Ultra Instinct reflexes, he managed to dodge easily. But Gohan hadn't done that to hit his father, but to distract him. When Goku realized this, he ended up getting a big punch to the face that caused him to be thrown away. Goku and Gohan were far away from each other. Both concentrated their energies and fired a Kamehameha against the other, and when the blows collided, a great wave of destruction was formed. The two attacks were redirected to the sky, and then Goku and Gohan realized this was in the middle of their attack. Whis said, I'm sorry, but this battle between father and son ends now, said the angel, laughing at the end. Currently in the 7th universe, it was possible to see, in a place far from civilization, Goku and Gohan both were in their most powerful forms. Gohan was using his bestial form and Goku was using the power of Ultra Instinct. The two Saiyans were looking to Whis, who had arrived at the scene and redirected the Saiyans' ki attacks. Goku said, Whis, what are you doing here? Asked the Saiyan while looking at the angel from the 7th universe, who had arrived and interrupted the fight between Goku and Gohan. Whis said, what am I doing here? Isn't that obvious? I'm here to prevent two Saiyans from facing each other, using their maximum powers, and ending up destroying the planet Earth and some planets close to it, spoke the angel while looking at the two Saiyans present in that place. Gohan said, but me and my father weren't even fighting at our 100%, so how could we destroy planet Earth? Asked the eldest son of Son Goku to the angel, who only sighed because of Gohan's stupid question. Whis said, I thought you were smart, different from your father, Mr. Gohan, said the angel, sighing because of Gohan's question. Goku said, hey Whis, you don't have to say that. I'm not smart, nor am I stupid. It's enough, Vegeta, saying that all the time about me, said the Saiyan, offended by what Whis had said about him, even if indirectly. Whis said, well, you two really weren't using the full power that you possess, but I know you Saiyans enough to know that you would get carried away and end up fighting and increasing your powers, gradually, and in the end you two would be using your full power, and with that planet Earth would be destroyed, and thousands of lives would be lost in the process. So Mr. Beerus sent me to end this fight before it even started, said the angel, while looking at both the Saiyans, who understood why the fight between Goku and Gohan had been interrupted by the angel, who only obeyed the orders of the god of destruction of that universe. Gohan said, that makes sense, but for a moment I forgot that our power can easily destroy planet Earth, said the Saiyan, returning to his base form. Goku said, sometimes I forget. I must control my forces or we'll end up destroying the entire planet Earth, said the Saiyan while returning to his base form and looking at the angel. Gohan thought, for some reason when I use this bestial form I become different. My thoughts and my actions change, and even the way I do things change completely. It's like a Saiyan's primitive instincts come to the fore, and it reminded me of a lot of the feelings I felt when I turned into an Ozaru, when I was younger and still had my Saiyan tail. Only I feel much stronger and more arrogant with this bestial form, the Saiyan thought while looking at one of his fists and squeezing them tightly. Whis said, "Okay, now that you two have calmed down, how about we go back to Mr. Goku's house? Chi-Chi must be expecting the two of you, and she was a little worried about you as she was seeing the energy you two were releasing, and that made her worried," said the angel Whis while he looked at the two Saiyans present in that place. Goku said, "Okay, let's go back soon then, otherwise I'll have to listen to Chi-Chi complain to me for hours and hours on end," said the Saiyan, sighing as he thought he would have to listen to his wife complain for hours if they took longer to come back. Gohan said, "Let's go then. I want to get back to the house soon. I don't want to make Videl or Pan worried about me. Since I left, I didn't say where I was going," said the half Saiyan while looking at the angel and for your father. Whis said, "All right. You two stay close to me so we can go to your house, Mr. Goku, and then I can take you to your house, Mr. Gohan," said the angel while looking at the two Saiyans. The two Saiyans approached the angel, and then Whis hit his staff 2 times on the ground, and after that a pillar of light was formed surrounding all 3, and then the pillar disappeared from the place along with the 3, and it didn't take long for the pillar of energy to appear in front of Son Goku's house. But when arriving at the oldest Saiyan's house, it wasn't just Chi-Chi and Goten who were there. Videl, Gohan's wife, Pan the daughter, and Piccolo were also there. Beerus was also there, eating some kind of candy. Videl said, "Gohan," said Gohan's wife when she saw her husband leaving the pillar of light created by Whis' staff. Gohan said, "Videl," said the half Saiyan, surprised by his daughter and wife being at his parents' house. Chi-Chi said, "What is this idea of leaving your wife and daughter alone at home, Mr. Gohan? Where is the education I gave you? It even looks like you're an irresponsible father," asked the woman looking at her eldest son. Gohan said, "I'm sorry, Mom, and I'm sorry, love. I should have told you that I was going to my parents' house, but I ended up forgetting and came without telling you," said the half Saiyan while looking at his wife. Videl said, "Okay, but please don't do that again. I was worried about you and Pan too," Videl said, looking at her husband. Gohan said, "This will never happen again, I promise you, love. Now returning to the main subject of my coming to my parents' house, Father, are you not going to train me?" asked the Saiyan to the father, who took his hand to his chin and closed his eyes, showing that he was thinking about that subject. Goku said, "No, I won't train you, my son. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to train you," answered Goku while looking at his eldest son, who was surprised by that answer. Gohan said, "Why can't you train me, father? I thought you were going to train me so that I could get stronger and master my power when I'm in my bestial mode," said the Saiyan, not understanding why his father didn't want to train him. Goku said, "Simple, my son. I will not train you because I will not be very useful in your training. Everything I could teach you, I can't because you're already too strong. It would be useless for me to teach you anything. Do you understand now?" said the oldest Saiyan while looking at his son. Gohan spoke. "But Dad, you're the only one I could ask to train me right now. Mr. Piccolo is strong, but he can't train me anymore because everything he could teach me, I already learned. And even Mr. Piccolo's Makan Kosapo, I already learned. So if not you, who could train me for me to get stronger?" said the eldest son of Goku to his father. Goku said, "Like I said, I'm no longer useful to help you get stronger. But maybe Whis can train you." "Whis, could you train my son?" asked the Saiyan to the angel of the 7th universe. But the one who answered was Beerus, the god of destruction of that universe. Beerus said, "Sorry, son Goku, but currently Whis and I have a lot of work to do, taking care of the 7th universe. And because of that, we won't be able to train neither you, nor Goku, nor Vegeta. So you'll have to train alone for some time. After all, we have to work to evolve the level of mortality in this universe, so that in the future we don't need to go through another tournament of power." Spoke the god of destruction, revealing the reason Whis couldn't train any of the 3 Saiyans for a while. Goku said, "So Vegeta and I are going to have to go back to training with each other, and apparently Gohan too. It's a pity. If Gohan had someone capable of training him, he would be able to tap into his true potential. Because I think this bestial form is not the maximum capacity that his potential has," said the Saiyan while looking at his son. Piccolo said, "I have to agree with Goku on that. Gohan naturally has great potential, one that neither Goku nor Vegeta possess, and if that potential were truly exploited, he could come close to or surpass the power of a god of destruction. But that's my guess, and nothing more than that," said the Namekian while looking at Gohan. Whis spoke. "Indeed, Mr. Gohan's potential surpasses Mr. Goku and Mr. Vegeta's, and not even the two of them together would have a great potential that Mr. Gohan does. I can't train him because of my angel duties, but I know someone who will be able to train him, and I guarantee that person will be able to unleash Lord Gohan's full potential," said the angel while looking at everyone at the place. Beerus said, "And who would that guy be, Whis? Is he strong as you are, or at least half as strong as you?" said the god of destruction while looking at his angel and longtime friend. Whis said, "Who will train Lord Gohan is certainly stronger than me. After all, that person is my father, the High Priest," said the angel while looking at everyone who, when they heard that, were very surprised. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely on planet Earth, it was possible to see that in the Saiyan Son Goku's house, everyone was surprised at seeing how Whis had given Son Gohan to be trained by the Daishinkan, the High Priest, one of the most powerful beings of all the universes, and also the father of Whis. Beerus said, "What do you mean, Whis? The High Priest is someone very important, and at the same time very busy. I doubt that someone like the Daishinkan would want to train a mortal like Son Gohan. The High Priest wouldn't waste his precious time doing that," said the god of destruction of the 7th universe, while looking at his angel. Gohan said, "Look, I appreciate you for suggesting this, Mr. Whis, but I agree with Mr. Beerus. The High Priest may have many responsibilities, and training me would only hinder him. That is, if he agrees to train me, of course," said the half Saiyan, looking at the angel who just smiled at him. Whis said, "That's where you two are wrong. My father recently had a meeting with the angels, and he told us that what I and some other angels were doing, which was training some mortals, was a very good thing for the future of every universe, and that we should continue to do that. During the meeting, the High Priest ended up saying that there were some mortals with a very good occult power, and that the High Priest would like to see in the future, and among these mortals, the mortal that Daishinkan had said that had the greatest potential was Mr. Gohan." The angel surprised everyone in the room once again with that revelation. Goku said, "The High Priest is one of the beings with the greatest power in all of existence in all universes, and he said he saw great potential in my son Gohan, and by the way, he liked what he saw? Among the mortals who were in the power tournament, like for example me, Vegeta, Hito, and Jiren, Gohan was one of the most who caught his attention?" asked the older Saiyan, not knowing if he had understood that correctly. Whis said, "Exactly, Mr. Goku. Among all the mortals present at the Tournament of Power, my father was mainly interested in Son Gohan," said the angel, confirming what Goku had said, since he had not understood very well, and thus making it clear to everyone in that place. Gohan said, "But why me? During the Tournament of Power, I didn't have a presence as big as that of my father, Lord Vegeta, and even Jiren, who proved to be a true monster in all aspects during the Tournament of Power. So why would the High Priest be interested in me?" asked the half Saiyan, not understanding why someone as important as the High Priest had an interest in him, who had barely done anything in the Tournament of Power or in the exhibition tournament. Whis said, "Don't underestimate yourself, Mr. Gohan. My father was not interested in his strength during the Tournament of Power, but in his potential that far surpassed that of several super strong mortals who stood out in the Tournament of Power, such as Jiren, Son Goku, and Vegeta. Gohan, you have such great potential that even I don't know how strong you would be if you trained to the limit and managed to awaken your true potential. And if you want to get stronger and discover where your potential can take you, my father can help you, but you have to want to do it. So, Son Gohan, what is your answer? Do you want to get stronger or not?" asked the angel while looking at the half Saiyan in front of him, who was very surprised by the angel's words. Beerus said, "If I were you, boy, I would accept it. It's not every day that one of the strongest beings in the existence of the 12 universes can train someone to awaken their true hidden power. But the choice is yours in the end," said the god of destruction, looking down on Son Goku's eldest son. Gohan said, "I accept being trained by the High Priest, but to train with him, I will have to abandon my family?" asked the half Saiyan, accepting Whis' proposal and asking the angel if he would have to leave his family to train with the High Priest. Whis said, "Excellent. I'm going to talk to my dad about your training, so it could be a few hours or days. About your family, I'm almost sure that you won't need to leave it to be trained by my father. He will probably take you to another dimension where time passes differently, and in that dimension you can train for hours, while here you will only have 1 or 2 hours which would have passed. So you won't be absent from your family life," said the angel while looking at the eldest of Goku's sons, who ended up sighing, followed by his wife Videl, who did the same thing. Gohan said, "Okay, if I can train and become stronger and still be able to return to be with my family, I accept your idea, Mr. Whis," said the half Saiyan while looking at the angel, who ended up giving him a smile. Videl thought, I'm happy to know that even when he received this proposal, he thought of me and Pan. Chi-Chi already told me several times that Mr. Goku disappeared and left her alone to take care of her children, and Son Goku already did that several times. It's a good thing Gohan isn't like that, thought the woman, relieved to know that her husband wouldn't abandon her and her daughter just to train and become stronger, just like her father, Son Goku, did. Chi-Chi spoke. Very well spoken, my son. This is how a real man should speak and act, wanting to get stronger to protect the ones you love and at the same time maintain your role as a good husband and a good father. Even if you failed in some aspects, you already are better than your idiot father, who always left his family to train, and the only goal of his father's training was to get stronger so he can face stronger enemies and nothing more, said Gohan's mother, while she looked at her son and at the same time vented her frustration with her husband, who ended up feeling like a stone had fallen on his head. Goku said, Wow, am I that bad as a husband and as a father? Asked the oldest Saiyan while looking at his youngest son. Goten said, Sorry, Dad, but yes, you are a terrible father and husband, because if you were given two options, family or a stronger opponent, you would definitely choose the stronger opponent, said the youngest son of Goku while looking at his father. Chi-Chi said, At least now Goku has improved a little. He's being a more regular grandfather and is more present in Goten's life. But this is only happening because there is no strong enemy for Goku to face. It's been a while, spoke the woman, sighing. Goku said, Wow, guys, do you see me as some kind of fighting maniac who would leave his family at any moment just to train and get stronger? Asked the Saiyan while looking at everyone present in that place. Most of them said, Absolutely. A good part of those present at the place were making the oldest Saiyan have a comical face. Pan said, Sorry, Grandpa, I know you're trying to improve, even though you like fighting more than spending time with your family, said the youngest of the family, making everyone laugh with that. Beerus said, Sorry, Goku, but let's face it, even Vegeta is a better husband and father than you are, and Vegeta is a proud Saiyan, but still Vegeta ended up becoming more human than he expected, said the God of Destruction while looking at the Saiyan. Gohan said, Well, leaving aside the fact that my father is not a great father and not as present a husband as he should be, when will my training start with the priest? Asked the half Saiyan while looking at the angel, who placed his hand on his chin. Whis said, I don't actually know yet. I'll talk to my father as soon as possible. When I have an answer, I'll let you know, said the angel looking at the half Saiyan in front of him. Beerus said, Okay, now I think it's about time we went back to the planet of the God of Destruction. By the way, if you want to train with each other, train. But don't use so much power, or else I'll come back here and kill the two of you, you big idiots, said the God of Destruction as he tightened his fist and threatened the two oldest Saiyans in the place. Goku said, Okay, don't worry. Gohan and I are not going to fight using that power anymore. In fact, I think it's time I'm going to be more with my family from now on than training non-stop. We're not having any enemy recently, and even Frieza disappeared, so I think I'll stay with my family for a while, said the oldest Saiyan, surprising everyone in the place with his words. Whis spoke, I have to admit this was very unexpected. Mr. Goku saying he's not going to train and stay with his own family, it's something I never expected to hear from your mouth, Mr. Goku, said the angel in an amused tone while looking at the Saiyan, who had a sulky face. Whis said, Well, now we have to go. I'll see you the day I get an answer from my father. Until then, I say goodbye, said the angel before leaving the place in a pillar of energy with Beerus. A few days had passed since the day Whis had given the idea of Gohan being trained by his father Daishinkan, the High Priest. During those days when the half Saiyan did not receive any news from Whis about the beginning of his training, Gohan focused more on staying with his family. He trained his daughter Pan a little by helping her transform for the first time into Super Saiyan. The girl had succeeded, but she couldn't maintain the transformation for a long time. But with time and training, Pan would be able to spend more time in Super Saiyan form. In addition to the fact that Gohan spent more time with his family, he also started to train on his own. It wasn't such rigorous training, but it was enough for the Saiyan not to be as still as he was before, and even now and then Piccolo and Pan participated in the training to help Gohan. Even Pan showed signs of being evolving with his father's physical and mental training. Currently with Gohan, it was possible to see that the Saiyan was training in front of his house. While his wife Videl watched the Saiyans training, in her lap was Pan, sleeping peacefully. Videl said, Gohan, you've been training for a few hours. Take a break and come eat, said the Saiyan's wife. Gohan soon stopped training and went to her. Gohan said, Has Pan already slept? I thought she was going to train a little with me, said the older Saiyan, surprised, while looking at his daughter who was sleeping peacefully. Videl said, Pan said she was going to sleep a little, so she could train with you later. But now you're going to eat because an empty stomach can't make you stand up, said the woman in an amusing tone while looking at her husband, who ended up laughing. Gohan said, Did you know that I love it when you worry about me? This just shows me how much you like me and it makes me very happy, said the Saiyan to his wife, who was surprised by her husband's words. Videl said, You're really changing. You weren't the type of person who was praising a lot of talking about what you like or don't like about a person, and hearing you say that makes me very happy, said the woman while giving a smile to her husband, who ended up smiling too. Gohan and Videl were looking at each other for a few seconds. Then the couple started to get closer. They kissed in a calm and steady way. But the couple's kiss ended when they both heard a noise of something arriving at that location. The couple saw a pillar of energy in front of their house, and when the pillar of energy disappeared, it was possible to see Beerus and Whis. Beerus said, Sorry for disturbing the couple's moment, but we came to warn Son Gohan of the High Priest's answer about training him, said the God of Destruction, while looking at the Saiyan who got up next to his wife, who took up his daughter in his lap. Gohan said, So you already got an answer from the High Priest about training me? If so, what was his response? Will the High Priest train me or not? Asked the Saiyan while looking at both the divine beings in the place, mainly Whis. Whis said, My father already made his decision and agreed to train you. I told the High Priest about your situation. I said you don't want to be away from your family, and he understood. So the High Priest told me to take you to him, so you can train when you're ready. And don't worry, because the High Priest will teach you a teleportation technique. With that, you'll be able to come and go whenever you want, said the angel while looking at the Saiyan, who was happy to hear that the High Priest agreed to train a mere mortal like him. Gohan said, I'm glad to know that the High Priest agreed to train me, even though I'm just a common mortal from the 7th universe. So shall we go now? Asked the Saiyan while looking at the angel. Whis said, If you want, we'll go now to where my father is waiting for you to start your training, said the angel while looking at the Saiyan, who looked at his wife. Videl said, You can go, Gohan, but try to come back before dinner, and try not to come back totally without energy, because Pan will still want to train with her father later. I'll be waiting for you at home, and don't overdo the training, please, said the woman to her husband. Videl kissed the Saiyan on the cheek, who just smiled. Gohan said, Since it's like this, we can go right now. Mr. Whis, said the Saiyan excitedly while looking at the angel. Beerus said, Great, then you go to the High Priest, and I'm going to Capsule Corporation to eat a little, because later I'm going to have a lot of work to do and I need to have energy for it, said the God of Destruction that left flying from the location towards the Capsule Corporation. Whis said, Right, now let's go, because my father must already be waiting for you to train him, and there's no need to worry, Videl, because I'll bring him later, while he doesn't learn to use teleportation in the right way. Correct, said the angel to the Saiyan and his wife. Gohan said, All right, I'll see you later, Videl, said the Saiyan standing next to the angel. Soon they were enveloped in a pillar of light, which rose to the heavens and then disappeared. Zeno's abode. In another dimension outside the 12 universes, it was possible to see a pillar of light appearing in a place. From this pillar, Whis and Gohan left, and then the angel started to walk around the place, and Gohan started to follow him. The angel arrived in a room where Zeno from the present and the others who had come from the future, from Trunks' world, and in the middle of the two a Daishinkan, the High Priest, behind both Zenos, were their bodyguards, who when they felt Gohan's presence they watched him. The Daishinkan spoke. My son Whis, it seems that you have brought my new pupil. If I remember correctly, you are called Son Gohan, am I right? Asked the High Priest while looking at Gohan, that attracted the attention of both Zeno. Gohan said, Yes, sir, I'm Son Gohan. It's such an honor to see you again, and this time not in such a difficult state as the Tournament of Power, where my life and the life of my universe were at risk, spoke the Saiyan looking at the High Priest, who had a slight smile on his face. Zeno 1 said, Is Goku there? Asked one of the Zenos as he looked at the Saiyan. Zeno 2 said, He looks like Goku, but the hair is different, said the other Zeno looking at Gohan. Gohan said, Not really. My name is Son Gohan. I'm Son Goku's eldest son, said the Saiyan while looking at the two Zenos, who looked at each other and ended up smiling. Zeno 1 and 2 said, So you come to play with us like Goku did? Asked both the Zenos looking at the Saiyan, but this time it was the Daishinkan who answered. The Daishinkan spoke. Not this time, Mr. Zeno. Son Gohan came here today because I'm going to train him and help him awaken the true hidden power within him, said the High Priest while looking at Zeno-sama, who was surprised. Zeno 1 said, Will the High Priest train Goku's son? asked the Supreme God while looking at the High Priest. The Daishinkan said, "That's right, Mr. Zeno. I saw that Gohan has a great latent potential, so great that he surpasses that of Mr. Goku, and because of that I accepted to train him to see how far his potential can reach," said the High Priest looking at both Zenos. Zeno too said, "But is he as strong as Goku? During the Tournament of Power he didn't seem to be as strong as Goku, but some time has passed. So how strong is Gohan currently?" asked the other Supreme God while looking at the High Priest, who also didn't know how strong Gohan was at the moment. The Daishinkan said, "Actually, I don't even know how strong Gohan is currently. So how about we find out how strong Mr. Son Gohan is? I hope you don't mind showing us your full power, Mr. Son Gohan," said the High Priest looking at the Saiyan. Gohan said, "No, I don't mind showing my maximum power, but am I going to do that here?" asked the Prince while looking at the High Priest. The Daishinkan said, "No, follow me. I'll show you the place where you can use your current maximum power without destroying everything around," said the High Priest, answering the Saiyan. The Daishinkan started walking and everyone followed him, and then they arrived in a place identical to the temple room, which was in the 7th universe. The place they were in had several pillars that seemed to be holding the sky of the place. The Daishinkan said, "Okay, in that place you can release your power without destroying anything or affecting the 12 universes. So don't worry and use all your strength. I want to see the entire strength of my current disciple," spoke the High Priest to the Saiyan, who walked away from everyone. After moving away from everyone, Gohan began to release his energy, and little by little he was transforming. First into Super Saiyan, then Super Saiyan 2, and with a great release of his energy, Gohan transformed into his mystical form. And with a bestial roar, a great amount of energy was released, and this energy was so great that Zeno's bodyguards had to create a barrier. And after a few seconds, everyone could see Gohan in his strongest form, currently, which was his form, the newly acquired bestial. Zeno's abode. In a dimension separated from all 12 universes was the almighty Zeno, who was cared for by Daishinkan along with Zeno's bodyguards, who were always by their side. All of them were together with Whis in a place similar to the temple room that existed on the planet Earth of the 7th universe. And in that room it was possible to see that everyone was looking at where Gohan was, who had raised his power to the maximum and with that transformed in its currently strongest form, which was bestial Gohan. Daishinkan spoke. "So this is his strongest transformation currently. I must say that he is much stronger than he was at the time of the Tournament of Power, and if he had that power back then, he could have faced Jiren head-to-head alone. Whis, my son, did you train Gohan after the Power Tournament or something like that?" asked the High Priest to his son, who was at his side watching everything that was happening, and even Whis was impressed with Gohan's power, since Whis didn't pay much attention to Gohan's power when he prevented him from facing his father's son Goku, and thereby end up destroying the Earth in the process. Whis said, "No, my father, I never got to train Mr. Gohan. The only Saiyans I got to train were Mr. Goku and Mr. Vegeta, but no other Saiyan. You asked me that because you think I am responsible for making Mr. Gohan reach the level of power, but you're wrong. As far as I know, Mr. Gohan was trained by one of the Namekians of my universe. Gohan was trained by Mr. Piccolo, the Namekian who participated in the Tournament of Power, representing the 7th universe. And by the way, Mr. Piccolo also had a great increase in power. Piccolo, even though he's not as strong as Mr. Gohan, Piccolo is much stronger than he was in the Tournament of Power," said the angel looking at his father, and then at where Gohan was. The Daishinkan said, "So who trained Gohan to be with that level of power? If this Piccolo guy wasn't responsible and you never got to train him, how did he get such great power? This power should match the power of the Saiyan Son Goku demonstrated when using the power of Ultra Instinct, a power that only angels should know how to use in its full form. In reality, this power surpasses that of Son Goku of that time, so I would say that Gohan and Son Goku must have similar power or this kid is stronger. But I still want to know how Gohan got that power and who trained him, because a power like that, he must not have got it alone," said the High Priest while looking at Gohan and Whis. And the Daishinkan was sure that someone had trained Gohan so that he could have that amazing power. Whis said, "In reality, my father, he was not trained to get that power. According to Mr. Piccolo, Mr. Gohan didn't train for a long time. In fact, since the day of the Tournament of Power ending, Gohan didn't train anymore. He focused on his life as a mortal, but because of some humans, Gohan was forced to fight again. These humans managed to create a type of android that should have a power similar to that of Lord Goku and Lord Vegeta, but the android was woken up prematurely and ended up getting weaker. But even though the android was weak, he still defeated Lord Piccolo at his maximum power, And when Lord Gohan saw that, he ended up releasing all his anger mainly due to the lack of strength he had at the time. And this caused Gohan to release a unique power, and thus achieve this new transformation that was named Bestial Gohan, or at least that's what Piccolo told me, said the angel, explaining how Gohan had gotten that power for his father, who didn't know what to say. After all, Gohan's power was awakened on the pure basis of rage, something very common among warriors, but this power had never been awakened on such a large scale as that of Gohan. The Daishinkan said, so Gohan used anger as a way to release his own potential, and that released a gigantic power. But unlike others, Gohan's power not only awakened at that moment and then disappeared, but became a new transformation that Gohan could access whenever he wanted. During the Tournament of Power, I thought Gohan's evolution potential was great, but I never thought it would be that big, and honestly, among the mortals I've seen, Gohan is the one with the greatest potential I've ever seen in all my long years of life, said the High Priest, still not believing in the potential of the eldest son of Goku. The Daishinkan was impressed with that power and potential of Gohan. Whis said, this is due to the fact that Gohan is a Saiyan, and for everything I've seen and witnessed of this race, they have a very large potential in terms of evolution. It's as if their DNA took their Fury Point and transformed it into a new transformation. Because according to Vegeta, the Saiyans become stronger according to their fights. But anger is a trigger for the increase of their powers, and this anger is one of the things they used to evolve so much that most of the Saiyans only managed to transform into Super Saiyans when they got very angry, said the angel to his father, revealing that the biggest trigger of the Saiyans is anger. That could make a weak Saiyan one of the strongest just because of the anger he was feeling. Daishinkan spoke. Saiyans, they are truly an interesting race. I could already imagine a Saiyan as a god of destruction. What would be the limit of his power? Could a Saiyan overcome the power of angels? Big unanswered questions, but maybe Gohan already has my answer, said the High Priest, looking at Gohan, who had several sparks of electricity running around his body. Gohan said, High Priest, what do you want me to do now? I've already shown my full power so far, and now what am I supposed to do? Asked the Saiyan while looking at the High Priest, who analyzed him even more because of his similar appearance to his father, but with a more aggressive tone like that of an Ozaru. Daishinkan spoke. That would be enough, but I think Mr. Zeno wants to see this more in practice than just visuals. Am I right, Zeno-sama? Asked the High Priest while looking at both Zeno, who were talking to each other about Gohan's appearance and power. Zeno said, yes, the appearance of this transformation is very cool, but we would like to see him using this power, said one of the Supreme Gods while looking at Gohan and getting excited seeing the power of that Saiyan that he was emanating. Zeno too spoke. That! We want to see him use that power in a fight, but who could Gohan fight? Asked the second Supreme God, looking at the High Priest, who thought a little, but then had an idea of who Gohan could face to show his power. Daishinkan said, Gohan, Zeno-sama wants to see your power in action, so you're going to face a being made of energy that should be as strong as you are, and that way you won't need to hold back when you land a few blows on him, said the High Priest, raising his hand and concentrating his ki on the spot. And soon after, an avatar was created that had the same appearance of Gohan in his bestial form. Gohan said, if that's what Zeno-sama wants, then I'll do it. I was also wondering how strong I am using this transformation, and the best thing is that this time I don't have to hold back. The Saiyan spoke while hitting his fist, generating a small wave of wind. As he said that, the energy avatar with a similar appearance of Gohan started to walk, and soon they would be face to face with each other, and a difference of a few meters between them. Daishinkan said, well, because you two are ready, let this training battle begin, said the High Priest, starting Gohan's training combat against the avatar of energy. Gohan advanced against the avatar at high speed, and as he approached the avatar, the Saiyan tried to land a punch on his face, but the avatar managed to dodge the blow by moving his head to the side, and then the avatar landed a punch on the Saiyan's abdomen, making him back off. The energy avatar didn't give Gohan time to adapt to the situation, so the avatar appeared in front of Gohan and hit the Saiyan with a series of punches, making him lose his balance for a few seconds, but that was enough for the avatar to land a kick in the Saiyan's abdomen, sending him to the far end, and then the avatar fired a huge beam of energy against the Saiyan, who dodged using his speed, but Gohan had not managed to dodge the precise punch to his face. That made him be thrown further away. The avatar, seeing that Gohan was more unbalanced, advanced against him again, but when the avatar approached, Gohan raised his power, causing the avatar to move away from the Saiyan, who now had a more intense and bestial look than before. Currently, in the dimension where Zeno lived, it was possible to see that in the place that was similar to the temple room of the 7th universe, there was Daishinkan, Whis, Zeno 1 and 2, and Zeno's bodyguards. and in the center of the place was Gohan in his bestial form facing the avatar of energy. Created by Daishinkan, this avatar was very similar to Gohan himself, while the original Gohan had a look with a lot of fury and not a calm look. That look did not look like Gohan, that one, and fights with strategy, but Gohan was acting like a beast wanting to attack everything in front of him. Daishinkan thought, Gohan's personality seems to have changed after he transformed. Gohan is more aggressive, and even his gaze is transmitting an energy of rage and ferocity like that of a real beast. It seems that Bestial Gohan was a very name, suitable for the shape. I'll have to train him so that Gohan masters his anger and isn't dominated by it. After all, if that happens, he'll lose control of himself, which on the one hand is good because Saiyans become stronger using anger as a catalyst. Thought the High Priest, analyzing the Saiyan he was going to train and see which points Daishinkan would have to focus on to help the Saiyan become stronger. Daishinkan said, My son Whis, I would like to ask you a question. Does Gohan normally act like that, yes or no? I want to know if he's the type that easily gets angry or loses his head when he's angry, asked the High Priest while looking at his son. Whis the angel responsible for the 7th universe. Whis said, I wouldn't say that, my father. Mr. Gohan usually acts with his head, and not on impulse like Mr. Goku or Mr. Vegeta. Mr. Gohan is the type of person who thinks very well before acting, like during the Tournament of Power. But from the stories I've heard about Son Gohan's old battles, there were some moments where he released an unparalleled power. And all the time Son Gohan did that, he stopped acting like a strategist and acted more like an arrogant and proud Saiyan, like Mr. Vegeta, only more arrogant and violent, as if he didn't care about his enemy's power. Even if his enemy was stronger, Mr. Gohan still managed to beat him due to his Saiyan genetics mixed with his human genetics. Son Gohan just doesn't have any evolution as great as Broly's, but among all Saiyans, Son Gohan has the greater evolution in terms of speed, said the angel looking at his father, who was surprised by his son's words. Whis said, But looking now at this form, Son Gohan seems to be a type of Ozaru without a tail, and in human form, even though he has control over his own actions, Son Gohan has become more aggressive as an Ozaru. I wonder if Son Gohan will be able to master this power, and if he will use it in this aggressive style or in a calmer style, asked the angel while looking at Gohan. Daishinkan said, It looks like it's about time we stopped talking and started seeing the battle, because it looks like Son Gohan is going to fight, and I need to analyze him better so I can train him in the most effective way possible, said the angel looking at his son, Whis. Then both were looking at Gohan, who had a sinister smile on his face, while his red eyes were glowing more intensely and the Saiyan's aura was more intensely charged with aggression. Gohan stopped releasing the aggressive aura and suddenly he disappeared in a burst of speed, reappearing in front of Gohan's clone energy avatar. The Saiyan tried to hit the avatar, who managed to dodge Gohan's blow that ended up hitting the ground, and because of the force, the Saiyan applied a larger crater full of cracks appeared on the ground, making everyone feel a slight tremor caused by Gohan's blow that made both Zenos give a squeal of excitement when they saw it. Even though Gohan missed the attack, he didn't care, and again advanced against the Avatar, who did the same thing, and both ended up getting close enough to try to land a punch, but Gohan's blow and the Avatar ended up colliding, and that generated an explosion because of the strength of the two. Such an explosion generated a large curtain of dust, preventing anyone from seeing what was happening between Gohan and the Avatar. Daishinkan and the rest of the group couldn't see anything of the battle. They were just hearing the noise of the powerful blows exchanged between the two warriors, and thanks to the speed of Gohan and the Avatar, it was only possible to see both moving from side to side, which generated even more dust, until Gohan and the Avatar started to fight in the air. And when they did that, everyone could see that both were in an intense battle where the energy avatar was managing to land several sequences of blows on the Saiyan. But Gohan had unparalleled resistance, and as the seconds passed, it seemed that the Saiyan's blows were getting more and more powerful than the previous one. Gohan, who was suffering from most of the blows given by the Avatar, began to fight back, and when the Avatar tried to kick the Saiyan, Gohan grabbed the Avatar's leg and spun him around, throwing him with full force to the ground, which opened a crater on the spot. But the Avatar managed to balance himself and advanced against the Saiyan, and when Gohan approached the Avatar, tried to hit him. But Gohan spun his body in the air and used the Avatar's body to propel himself, and after doing that, the Saiyan concentrated his energy in both hands and used the most famous attack between him and his family, the Kamehameha. Gohan, using the Kamehameha, ended up creating a huge beam of energy that hit the Avatar, with everything causing him to be thrown violently against the ground, creating a huge crater in that place. After doing that, Gohan gave an arrogant smile because for him the battle was already over, and because of that, the Saiyan, when he landed on the ground, turned around and started walking towards Daishinkan and the others who were there. Only in doing so, Gohan lowered his guard and was able to defend himself against a huge energy attack similar to Goku's Genki Dama. Because of the energy avatar's blow created by Daishinkan, Gohan ended up being thrown away, and then a sphere of energy created by the avatar ended up exploding when hitting Gohan, generating a gigantic explosion. Whis said that blow must have hurt, said the angel, seeing the explosion of the great sphere created by the energy avatar. Everyone focused on the explosion site, and it didn't take long for everyone to see Gohan coming out of the crater created by the explosion of the attack that had disintegrated the top part of his clothes, and with that it was possible to see the Saiyan had several injuries on his body because of the avatar's energy attack. Gohan, even badly injured, advanced with full force towards the energy avatar, who did the same thing, and then the two started a more intense battle where the Saiyan was managing to hit several blows on the energy avatar. Gohan, seeing one of the avatar's attacks coming towards him, he held the avatar's punch and threw it to the ground, and then began to give several heavy blows to the avatar's face. And after several blows that made the place shake, finally the avatar of energy, it was destroyed, turning into energy shards. Daishinkan said, "I think with that I already have a better base on your skills and your strength, son Gohan. Now I recommend you to go to your house and rest. Tomorrow you come to us to start your training," said the sumo priest while looking at Gohan, who ended up returning to his base form. He was very tired and out of breath because of this battle and the previous energy attack given by the avatar. Gohan said, "Yes, sir," said the tired and out of breath Saiyan, getting up and going closer to Whis. Whis said, "I'll bring you tomorrow at the same time, my father. Until then, I say goodbye to you." "And I wish you a good day, Zeno-sama," said the angel, bowing slightly with Gohan to Zeno, and soon the two left the place in a pillar of colored energy. Daishinkan spoke. "I hope that you two Zeno-samas have enjoyed the combat between Son Goku's son and the avatar of energy that I created," said the high priest while looking at the two supreme beings that he cared for and advised since the beginning of the times. Zeno once spoke. "Yes, this match was very exciting," said one of the two supreme beings of all the universes with excitement in his voice. Zeno too said, "It was, but Goku's son will continue to come here to be trained by you. Isn't it the same, high priest?" asked the other Saiyan being to the high priest. Daishinkan said, "That's right, so you'll be able to see him being trained here for some time," said the high priest looking at the Zenos, who ended up getting very excited about that. Zeno 1 and 2 said, "This is going to be really cool and fun." Both supreme beings spoke at the same time in an exciting tone with the news. With that, we'll end today's video. If you want to see the continuation of this incredible story, leave a lot of likes on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you on another day, guys.